Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and look, the top of the hour. There we are. Hello, Myra. Hello, young Quinn. How are you, ladies?
Everyone's fine.
Yeah, I'm
Good.
doing good.
Mhm.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. We are minus one of our compadres. Stephen Hill is away doing business,
Okay.
and until about a few minutes ago, we thought he might be able to join us, but whatever meeting he is in with his songbird bride, unable to. And I just said, handle your business, and I'm really glad that you all are here as we're coming down to our last few live shows of the season. Here we are in December. It's already the middle of the month.
Yeah.
Okay. So just a quick question: when is Christmas? Because my dates and stuff. Is it next weekend? No.
It's no, it's Monday the 25th.
So we have
Oh,
like 1 week.
okay. So, okay.
So you actually have 2 weekends before Christmas.
Gotcha. Okay. 2 weekends. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So I need to put my shopping into overdrive now. This is
If
crunch
you,
time.
yeah, unless you're not having Mr. Amazon deliver your stuff. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just needed to know that.
So Myra, you just came off the road. How was your vacation?
A fun time. Girls trip. Just came back from Vegas. Uh,
Oh,
visited. Did not go inside. Visited the
Mhm.
Sphere.
Oh, tell people what that is. A lot of people may not know.
It's this big illumination show in Las Vegas. I'm not telling anybody to go, but I will encourage you to Google it. The Sphere, Las Vegas. It is amazing to look at, and it costs well over $1 billion, and it's all these lights, and it just changes constantly. And
And music groups perform there.
yes, right now I believe U2 has a
Hmm.
residency there, but they also have shows for the public for you to go inside, and I think right now it's called Postcards from Earth, and it is
Hmm.
supposed to be like being in the bottom of the ocean
Oh,
oh,
wow.
type show, but I had a wonderful view from my hotel room because the outside of this enormous orb, you can see it from the airport. It is enormous. And it's just constantly changing from a Christmas ornament to a happy face
Oh,
to fish. It's absolutely amazing.
I
oh,
would love
that's
to see
very
that.
cool.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Very cool. Now you chose not to go in. Is it an expensive proposition or?
Really not that expensive. We were there celebrating a birthday, and we already had some other plans, so it was kind of a tight schedule to try to fit it in. And they spent $1 billion on it, so it ain't going nowhere.
Right.
The Sphere's gonna be there for a while, people, but I would definitely Google it for sure, and you will just go, wow, this looks pretty cool. Yeah,
This is the sphere.
yeah,
Okay. All
yeah.
right. Young Quinn, how are you?
I'm good. This is the finals week here on campus.
Oh.
So tomorrow is the final for my class, but our final is just a potluck. And
Oh,
so
that's nice.
I'm excited for the final class, and I had to get started on
Where
my.
were teachers like you when I was in school? I was thinking this the other day.
I don't know. I'm excited to see the evaluations, and I don't know. It's been like a whirlwind this semester. These past few months have been a lot, so I'm curious to see like how students felt about this class. I hope it was like just a sense of ease or like relief from like everything else they had going on, and I
Mhm.
hope like with my next students, since I'm primarily gonna my class is Black poetry performance. It's no longer multicultural leadership, so I'm excited to actually teach about something that I have a talent for, and I'm excited to like
And a
learn new
passion.
things,
Yeah.
yeah, with them, but also just like invite my homies to like teach and like workshop and stuff. So,
Oh,
but I'm
that's
doing
nice.
good. I'm doing good.
Young Quinn, we gave you an assignment last week.
Oh shoot!
Oh, she didn't do her homework.
No,
Teacher did not do her
actually,
homework.
it was about the guy that I never heard
Yeah,
of.
you thought was Greg
Johnny
Mathis'
Mathis. Johnny
son.
Yes,
Mathis.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Judge Greg Mathis' son, but it's not. And I saw a picture of him because he is an artist. Um,
Hmm.
yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Johnny Mathis was
Johnny
my
Mathis.
daddy's favorite singer, and Quinn was totally clueless as to who this old man was. and not
Is
my
it
dad. He's
Johnny
a singer.
Mathis's son? With like,
Right.
no.
Is it Greg Mathis's
Right,
son?
right. Greg Mathis. I'm sorry.
So I told her that was her assignment, and teacher forgot her assignment. So okay, all right.
That's
Clearly
why I
not.
don't assign homework now.
I was thinking about exams. This is an unfortunate situation where they canceled exams at the University of Nevada at Las Vegas campus after the shooting. A disgruntled person who could not get a job on that campus as an instructor went about on a shooting spree and killed several faculty members and no students, but adults there, and it was so traumatic, and they just decided to cancel exams on that campus. I can't imagine anything worse than going into the holidays. I think it happened when those kids were killed in their apartment. What was it, Idaho? The four people that were killed in their house. But it's just horrific that this is how uh, the campuses have to do business and help their students through trauma.
Mhm. Even the sphere, which is constantly changing, show dedicated to the victims, and
Hmm.
and it just showed a gigantic broken heart. It was
Wow.
really touching. Yeah, very.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really something. So that is Quinn is going to get an incomplete on that assignment.
I love the way Sybil did it. Like, and yep, Miss
All right, it was just like,
just
yeah.
like a teacher, just like a teacher.
Mhm, mhm. This is how I run my classroom,
Yes,
young woman.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
Man,
yes.
okay.
I just hope I get some extra credit. Give me another chance.
Uh-huh. So, well, let you complete another assignment, and that is a part of what you do for the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday newsletter, and we seek to super serve the African American community with our stories. And Quinn is our LGBTQIA plus contributor, one of the youngins that works with us. Quinn's big brother Cameron is our political contributor. The birthday girl, Coy Malone, is our social justice contributor, and Aprilette Russell is our mental health and wellness contributor. And we put all of our stories together, along with Little No Black History Fact, and as well as HBCU Corner, and have a number of other different features. Like on Monday, we have Ministry Monday, which is awesome. Willie Mae McIver gives us a word. Black and Missing, which we'll talk about a little bit later, is in our newsletter on Wednesdays. And it's just, I like it. And we were at an event in New York and telling people, well, tell me more about your newsletter. And I was like, well, in giving them the spiel. The best part about it for many people is that it's free. And so all you have to do is give us your name and your email address, but it is worth the money. Trust and believe. Give us your name and your email address, and we'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday. And when you receive it, please open it. We would love to have you be a part of the What You Need to Know news crew and take part in some of the stories that you may or may not have heard during that particular day or leading up to the day that you're opening the newsletter. But definitely, we try to give it to you from a Black perspective and how Black folks are affected by, like, for instance, I did something on unemployment the other day and how Black folks it's not double the employment of the national average, but we are always, Black and brown people are always the last ones hired and have the highest unemployment numbers. So, young Quinn, let's go to your specialty. And you have shared a story about a murder of a trans woman in Minneapolis that many believe should be filed as a hate crime.
Yeah, so unfortunately, this last week I covered the global report that covered that it was 323 trans and gender diverse folks, majority who are women, majority who are sex workers, who have been murdered globally. And it's a free report that anybody can access online. If you just go back to the Civil newsletter, you should go to check it out. But this is another one that occurred on November 29th. So it's within that 323 amount of people. But Savannah Ryan Williams, who was 38, she was shot in the head at close range by a 25-year-old named Demarion Caleb Bible. And he's currently in jail with a bail set at $1 million. So according to the criminal complaint, Demarion told police he walked past Savannah at a bus shelter near a train station at 5 a.m. and Savannah asked him if he wanted sex. Demarion said he began to feel suspicious as she performed oral sex on him in a courtyard several blocks away, and that he shot her in the head from just inches away. Demarion called his father from jail and said that he just murdered someone and that he felt sorry for killing her and knew that he wasn't God, but felt like he had to do it. And this is actually the second attack on a transgender woman near that same station this year. A trans woman was just severely beaten during a robbery, and 2 men pled guilty. But prosecutors could not conclude that the attack was motivated by bias. And so I was just curious because, you know, my girlfriend, she is a lawyer. So I did have to ask her, like, what is the work that is necessary for prosecutors to actually get enough substantiary evidence to conclude that something is a hate crime. And she talked about that, how they have to be able to prove that the person that committed the crime already had this level of bias, already had this level of disdain, already had this level of hatred for this protected class of citizens. And so within this case, like, the prosecutors are going to have to prove that Demarion is somebody that does not like trans women. But within this case, I feel as if there really is, I mean, there never is a reason to murder somebody. But I feel as if the transphobia is very, very clear, that if he said that he felt suspicious and felt that he just had to do it, it doesn't seem as if there's any other reason why you wouldn't kill somebody unless you didn't like who they are. And so I was just curious about, like, hate crime statistics. And I'm on the Justice Department website, not right now, justice.gov. And I didn't realize that over 59% of the bias, motivation, or hate crimes in 2022 were actually identified as hate crimes in terms of race. And then the second largest is based off of sexual orientation. And they also broke that down even further, where they said, like, over 400 victims were targeted because of one or more bias. And so, like, we're seeing this horrible, not only surge in, like, bigotry, but, like, a surge in the intersectionalities of race and gender, of race and sexual orientation, of race and just, like, your sexual identity. So, yeah.
I'm sad. I'm sad.
I got no words. I got no words. I don't understand. If someone offers something to you and you are suspicious, then don't accept it.
It's very confusing.
Just
And
keep
yes,
walking.
they are both Black. If anybody's wondering, these are both Black. And he's also so young. And I was just also really heartbroken to hear that too. Because it sounds like this is his first offense. And I didn't see anywhere that he had any type of record. So this is just really coming off like a very, very, very unfortunate circumstance. Both people.
But I mean, both lives are ruined now.
Yeah. I'm always just curious when young people, what I call young people, are so full of hate. You know, where is all this hate coming from?
The fact that he had a weapon on him, that he could do this.
Yeah, I don't know what the gun laws are in Minnesota.
Wow.
I was very, very confused. And like I said, like I know that activists are calling for it to be a hate crime. I don't know how to research as far as like what are the probabilities that most hate crimes actually end up being hate crimes. But I do hope that the activists and, you know, her family actually get the justice, you know, that they want, especially in this situation.
That might be a discussion that we have, Kwyn, because I believe, and don't quote me on this, but I do believe that one of the members of the Minneapolis City Council is a transgender person.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that might be a place where we start in trying to get more information about this particular case, as well as about the laws and hate crime and how and where they are in all of this. It's just such a tragedy. It's just such a tragedy.
Yeah, it really has me curious, like where, I guess, what was the first defined hate crime?
Right.
And if that was the first definition, how has that since, expanded? What are the I guess not the exceptions to the rule, but like when people can't find the substantiary like evidence, I'm curious, are they just asking them questions? Are they looking down their social media? Are they asking their friends? And like how is that actually be able to, I guess, compile this type of thing, from like a Trayvon Martin, to a trans woman? Like where, how are these people actually receiving justice when we know that it comes from a source of hate?
Right.
How come it's not so easily proved when we all know why? But
Right.
I'm really confused.
Well, that's a discussion that probably we'll see into the next year, as it were. But it's just such a tragedy. But I just this is not this is not the time of year that you say that you want all of the happiness and the carols and the good food and the friendship and the family fellowship and all of that. But it's unfortunate that we do seem to see these things and these stories, these types of stories, these types of crimes to skyrocket
Yeah.
during this time of year, which also I think lends to one's mental health.
Yeah.
And so
Mhm.
but why does this young boy, why is he carrying a gun?
Mm.
That oh, I always go back to that, in these days. But I know you carry a gun for because you're fearful for your safety. Was he a victim of something and was trying to protect him? These are too many questions and no answers, obviously. One of the other things that we talk about in the What You Need to Know newsletter is Black and Missing, and this came about as a result of the way that stories about our people are reported as missing. Black and brown people reported as missing. Back in the day, Myra, you remember we talked about there were always the stories about little white girls, blonde hair, blue eyes, little boys who were missing, and they became the front page story on television and in the newspaper and on radio. We're looking for little Jean Benet. We're looking for little, or for the killer of, and we're, this child. And when I was a kid, my parents were like, somebody could just grab you up. And I was like, no, they won't. My mother was like, you know something I don't? I was like, well, no, because I don't look like the kids that they kidnapped. And so she said, you may not look like them, but you're not hearing the stories about them
Mhm.
being kidnapped. And then that became an all-consuming fear of mine. And I was going to be, and I used to have this dream. But anyway, but that's what we try to do is to tell people that there are people who look like our children, people who look like us, look like our neighbors. And one day they're here, and the next day they go missing. And it could be for a variety of reasons. But
Mhm.
Black and Missing Foundation is a wonderful organization in which they tell us the stories of young people and sometimes elderly people who have gone missing. This particular story is about Lexis Williams. She's been missing from Orangeburg, South Carolina since December 6th. And they give a description of her. She's 19 years old, medium complexion, beautiful girl, 5 feet 5 inches tall, black hair, brown eyes, and last seen at a Valero gas station on Magnolia Street around noon in Orangeburg, South Carolina. Take a look at her picture in our newsletter. If she looks familiar to you, perhaps you've seen her in the last week or so. And if she does, go to the Black and please, 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 I ask you and implore you to go to the Black and Missing Foundation website and report her. Myra, you contacted me last week before last about a colleague's daughter that had gone missing. You
Mhm.
never know who's, and how that person's disappearance is going to be spread. And from what I understand from Natalie Wilson, that she was in the Black and Missing database. And so, but this is a really great source for people to find out more about the young people or the elderly who have gone missing. And we hear stories about the elderly may be affected by dementia,
Mhm.
definitely need their medication and that kind of thing. And one of the last things I want to talk about is our affiliation with Black Health Matters and talking about 5 ways to protect your memory from dementia. This is not your problem, Kwyn, as of right now, but it is a great story because talking about the 5 important steps you can take to keep your brain healthy and to keep your memory up and boosted. Uh, Eating right, choosing the vegetables, fish, eggs, legumes, and all of that. Avoid the red meat, the alcohol, and the sugar. Well, there goes my diet, just right there before everybody. But
When it's for
also,
the barbecue and wine, it's like,
oh,
okay.
okay, okay. And not to mention the barbecue tacos and margaritas. But that is the first thing is to keep an eye on your diet. Take a look at our Black Health Matters article and in our association with Black Health Matters for more information. Please go to sybilwilkes.com, as I mentioned, sign up. It'll make for a great holiday gift. All we need is their name and their email address, and we will have it on its way. Thank you for participating. And as I mentioned, once again, please open the newsletter so you can get all that is good and interesting. Oh, and we also mentioned birthdays, and we'd love to give people a birthday shout out. So we're going to move to the question of the day, what's really going on. And it's kind of like we all have great ideas for a question. But I think I'm going to go with Myra's because we are coming at the end of the year and the beginning of the new year where we make resolutions. And what are we going, what are we promising? What are we stressing that we're going to take into the new year? And if you take something into the new year, what are you going to leave behind? What do you need to leave behind in the last year? What's their name? Or or I'm in the process of closing out one house and just all of it, just the junk and just like I don't like to even buy people things on vacation because I don't want them to give me anything, a tchotchke, or as Myra's mother used to say, a whatnot,
Yeah.
that to sit on the shelves and things because I've got enough junk. And so, now it's classified. It's junk. A lot of clothes I have not worn for years. It's time to, to separate them. And Yolanda said, just throw them all out. I think that they can be recycled. I think that some people will make good use of. I'm not sure of the gazillions of radio station T-shirts they'll make use of, but but there are a lot of other, some nice shoes and outfits, pants, suits, and dresses and things that people might be able to use. So, what do you need to purge yourself of? Your closet, your shelves, your house,
Mm.
uh, and your life. What do you need to purge yourself of? Uh, uh, Yolanda is not a purger, so she doesn't. I mean, she is a purger. She doesn't understand the clutter and stuff, and
Oh.
the things that because she's good for cleaning out, even though it might take her a little while, like this particular season with her closet. But it's she's really good at getting rid of stuff. Uh, Kwyn, you have moved most recently. Did you find that when you left Illinois and moved to Virginia, that you had a lot of stuff to clear out, or did you like some of us say, "I'm taking it with me, and I'll clear it out when I get to the next stop," and end up not doing it?
I remember when I graduated with my master's because I literally had like maybe 8 hours before I was supposed to move out,
Oh
and I
wow.
didn't pack up anything. And so Ashley and I literally, and Ashley is the queen of throw it in the trash.
Okay.
It was just like anything on the floor, it's going in the trash. And I'm just like,
Hmm.
but I have this, thing in this memory. And she was like, no, it's all. So we were just like bagging up clothes. And she was like, you never even worn this. This is going in the trash. Like, so there's a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't take from Western back to my mom's house. But my mom's house to Virginia, I significantly decreased. Like when I got here, I didn't even bring like my coats or like anything. So when I went back
Hmm.
home, I had to like sift through the stuff and be like, okay, I honestly only need one coat and like I need one pair of boots. Like I left all my purses. I still have all of like my Delta crossing gifts and like all of my elephants and stuff still in her basement. And I still have like, the little important things like your birth certificate and, like baby pictures and stuff there. But for the most part, I've been pretty good as far as like getting rid of clothes. It's just hard because my
But
mom,
you also have sisters.
right. And we have different styles though. So now that
Oh,
I'm
okay.
older, I feel as if like my sister, if you ever seen that show Half and Half, like
Hmm.
Tori is definitely more Mona and I'm more, like the other girl now, like especially with this bob, it's like I need the summer turtlenecks. And Corey's like giving all the flowy things. And it's just like, okay, so who do I give these things to? But I'm very good at donating to the thrift store. I just
Hmm.
struggle because it's like I feel like a little voices in my head. It's like, wow, you bought this, and the shame comes in. So I'm like, okay, maybe I should just wear these yellow pants. You're right.
Hmm.
I wear
Hmm.
these pants 'cause I bought them. And it's like, no, girl, like they're ugly. Like, get away. So yeah, I think I have to get rid of some. I like getting rid of stuff at the new year because it feels good to walk into a new year. And you're just like, dang, like I'm not seeing that same annoying thing that reminds me I'm never getting around to it anymore.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it is a good time. Now, Myra, it's been a while since you've moved, but do you
Yeah.
find do you find some of the things that you moved with that you still have in your house?
I still have. There are. This is embarrassing to say. I I've been in this house 22 years now, and
Wow.
there are a couple of boxes that I brought from California that I'm sure are still boxed up.
Mhm.
Now, to be fair, I know one of them has albums, which is probably they're probably very valuable now.
Mhm.
But there's probably a couple of other boxes that have a missing earring or something that I've been looking for.
You just toss in. I'll find the match later.
Yeah.
Right, right. Just so much stuff. I desperately need to purge, and I do purge, but I don't purge enough. I need to do a massive purge, and I encourage everyone who's listening at least go to that junk drawer in your kitchen. We
Yeah.
Mhm.
all have that one drawer in the kitchen that we throw chargers and a
Manual.
screwdriver and a
Mhm.
whatchamacallit. We're like, where
Yeah.
does this go to?
Right,
And
right.
you just throw it in the drawer. So yeah.
A
And
lot of charging cords these days.
oh my gosh, charged, yes, and the box that the earpods came in, we don't need that box. Throw that box out, okay?
It's a
Plus,
nice sturdy box. You don't know what you might need to put in it and carry it with you somewhere.
I know. And a friend of mine, like, we had this conversation about saving stuff to pass it down to our children
Oh
for
God, yeah.
generations. It's a new day. They don't want that stuff. Especially, I have well, my son. I know. What is he gonna do with my earrings? I mean, really? You know, they,
Well, I don't want to, I don't want to say anything about Michael, but there might be a lovely woman that reminds him of his mom, and make a gift of it.
Or a
no,
goddaughter
no,
or niece.
no, no.
Yeah, your granddaughters.
I, that's overthinking. That's overthinking. Just like Quinn says, we have different styles. When my mother passed and people wanted to give me her jewelry, here are her earrings. My mama didn't even have pierced ears. What am I going to do with a bunch of old clip-ons? I don't want that. I
Right.
I don't want that. And I just think it's a new day. If you want to pass on one thing for sentimental reasons, but your Schifferow and your watchman and all that, no. Let's purge.
I want my grandmother's jewelry. My grandmother was a bad
Oh.
mama jamma. I literally have just little trinkets that she was like, oh yeah, you can have that. And it's like this beautiful, like Afrocentric robe that I wear in my poetry performances. Or she'd be like, oh yeah, sure. And it's like this cloak that has a little, like gold medallion thing. And I'm like, my God, who are you? So every little moment I could get, she gives me a pair of gold hoops or something, like I want it. But I do have to get rid of some of my makeup. I didn't realize makeup has like expiration dates.
Expiration.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's like that's the first place I always start before the junk drawer. I'm like, oh, I didn't even wear this foundation. Like I didn't even wear this lipstick. I
Mhm.
Right.
didn't even put this mascara on. Because once somebody told me it has an expiration date, I was like, wow, like that's really
And the cheaper it is, the more frequently you have to toss that
Yeah,
stuff. And
yeah.
yeah.
I'm saying sometimes it's a great deal. You go into the dollar store and you say, I need this right now. But as soon as you use it and you finish using it,
You
Mhm.
probably
toss
need to toss it. Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that's a quick way to get blemishes and breakouts on your
Mhm.
face. Old
Yeah.
makeup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's our question. What do you need to get rid of as we come to the end of the year? Or what are you holding on to that you know you need to get rid of?
Hmm.
It could be a person. Aubrey W., our friend on YouTube, says, I'm purging so called friends who mean me no well at
Good one.
all.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's a
I
good
know some
Ooh.
people who delete
Hmm.
contacts out of their phone each year. I don't have the
Oh.
time to actually do that. But I think 1 year I actually will, because I've never
Do
haven't
you
changed.
have people that you wanna dismiss from your contacts?
Ashley hates this about me, but I'm not a person that deletes people out of my life. I have to work on my
Okay.
boundaries. But
Mhm.
like, I'm not one of those people. Ashley is a very quick delete, block, like I'm done. But I don't do that very well. So
I'm not one either, and I have a lot of people, like especially from my mom's friends, and now that they are leaving as well. So it's like, how much longer you gonna keep their names and in your electron, because it has moved from a real phone book, Quinn, to having something electronic. And Myra, this, it's so much easier. Just push delete. They
I,
give you the little button, and all you got to do is.
no,
I know.
you know what though? I have just this is just a personal thing with friends who have passed on, who have transitioned. It might take me a couple of years to delete their name from my phone.
Hmm.
I look at their name and I go, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
like the anniversary of my godmother's death is coming up, and it's still in my phone book. It's
Hmm.
still in my
Hmm.
contacts. Aunt Connie died just before Christmas, and so that is still with me. When her husband, Uncle Duck, died, it's the same thing.
Hmm.
But to your point about wanting some old things, when she before she passed away, she said that she wanted my godmother wanted to leave her fine china to her son's daughters,
Hmm.
and come to find out they decided to sell it, and it really upset some people,
See?
because they didn't want it and they thought that their daughters would not want it. Well, come to find out, I'm pretty sure they're right about their daughters, um but this was some really beautiful china,
Yeah, no, I'm not doing
and
You
it.
know what? I have a bonus daughter, and I just recently purged. I gave away shoes. I literally have like 2 bags of shoes that I'm taking to the consignment store because these shoes were barely worn. Okay, they still clean on the bottom, but I had coats. I literally had like 4 nice coats, and I went. I wonder if my bonus daughter can use them. I put them in. She texted me today and went, oh, thank you. And it made me feel so good because that was literally 4 coats in my closet that
wow.
I couldn't wear.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
get rid of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bought my mom a Burberry raincoat one Christmas, and she got to wear it, but I still have it at the house because it's so nice, and I'm gonna do like that. Because I'm not gonna just toss it.
Mhm.
But it's a nice, and it was an expensive raincoat to buy, but that's something, other stuff that I need to get rid of. I don't
Can
know.
can I throw a quick question out there because you were talking about the t-shirt, radio station t-shirt.
Uh-huh.
I literally have, remember our Tom Joyner stuff that has our name on it. I have at least 3 nice jackets that I would like to give away, but they say Myra J on the front of
Right. Yeah. I have a really nice it's all leather, right? All
them.
leather Tom Joyner morning show jacket, and we wear it on the roads, and people like they see you, and all of that kind of stuff. I found it, and I think I'm going to give it away to, like, I think it was the Black Women in Radio asked for something,
Okay.
reminiscent of our time during that stage of our lives, and so I think
Let,
that's
let me
someplace
know.
where I'm going to. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to give the name, to somebody who's not, and
Right.
then have them, disrespect my name. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I
But,
mean,
someplace where it might do some good. Yeah.
that's the same thing with Nelia for me. Like, I have to give it away to like my specials or like my mentees or like even my neos, because we're not encouraged to just give away like Delta stuff to like thrift stores or
Mhm.
Right.
honestly in the garbage. Like, we have to be careful where it ends up, because one, you could have somebody who's perping and picks it up, or two, you could have somebody who has no idea what Delta is and thinks it's just a regular red shirt, and then that's even
Right.
worse.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So thank you all for participating. It is time now to move on to trending, and these are things that are going on as we speak. Myra J, what about you? Where are you going to be appearing next? I know you mentioned a gig you have coming up in January here in the Dallas Fort Worth area. Do you have others that you're going to be other comedy gigs?
No, actually, because I will not be at the Perfect Note on January 6th with Mr. J. Anthony Brown because I will still be celebrating the new year.
All right, all
Yeah,
right.
I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna be celebrating the new
Okay,
year.
and she gonna be purging.
We're gonna be purging and celebrating. But on January 26th, I will be at the Black Comedy Film Festival in Denton, Texas, and hopefully, I'll see my friend Sybil Wilkes there.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've had an opportunity to participate in events that they've done as well as to attend, and
Okay.
it's really it's a Denton is a cute little town. It's a college town,
Okay.
but the Denton Black Film Festival is really special, and the people that put it together are really lovely, and I look forward to going back there. Absolutely. Young Quinn, what about you? What you got cooking? What's popping?
I don't cook. But
Girl
I
after my own heart.
I do not cook, but nothing much. I mean, like I have a February lineup at Bucknell University for the Black History Month event, and I know we have MLK coming up, but I don't think I'm staying up home
Hmm.
on campus for that. And after that, like all the way in July, like I'm supposed to be at an authors festival for the public library here in Harrisonburg for my book.
Hmm.
Um, but
And
yeah,
tell people what your book is.
my book is called And She Will. And it is a story of triumph for me. And it has a whole bunch of poems that cover womanhood and like grief, but also just like the resiliency and like the strength you're able to find within yourself. And I have that book available in the Chicago Public Library and the Harrisonburg Public Library. And I'm hoping to get it in the DC Public Library once they respond back to my email. But yes.
And tell them about your audio as well.
Oh, yes. I do have a poetry album called And She Worthy, and that is available everywhere on iTunes, Spotify. You can also find it on YouTube when you type in And She Worthy. And it's a poetry album. So you can hear my mom on there. You can hear Cameron on there. They have like really nice interludes where I asked everybody, what does worthy mean to you? And it's really beautiful how everybody had a different answer. So,
Are you
yeah.
going to be playing this for your students?
No, I actually kind of avoid. It's so awkward for me when people watch my
Okay.
poetry in front of me. So, but a lot of them, because they're stalkers, have found it. And
They
they bring it up.
Googled you.
Yes. When I first came here, a lot of students already found my social media and all that type of stuff, which is fine. Like I post regularly on my close friends anyway, thank God. But yeah, a lot of them found my poetry album, and I want to do another one. But I'm also working on an anthology when I want to submit like some more essays and like not fictional things. So
Nice, nice. And you're coming up on Black History Month, so your calendar is likely to really get full.
hopefully, I need the
Okay.
money. But yeah.
Let us move on to what's going on. The House today authorized, and we knew it was coming, an impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden, with every Republican rallying behind the politically charged process, despite lingering concerns among some in the party that the investigation has yet to produce just an iota of evidence of misconduct by the president. A vote of 221 to 212 along party lines put the entire House Republican Conference on record in support of an impeachment process because I think they figure our president was impeached twice. We want to even the playing field for your president. No, I'm kidding. I'm being facetious with that. But obviously, but obviously, Donald Trump was impeached twice by the majority, Democratic majority, and so a little tit for tat here. And punishment for what they are asking for punishment for what the Constitution describes as high crimes and misdemeanors can lead to removal from office if convicted in a Senate trial. Did not make it to that for Donald Trump, but it is interesting to see how this all plays out. So. Authorizing the months-long inquiry ensures that the impeachment investigation will go well into 2024 during the presidential election, when which it is expected that Joe Biden and Donald Trump will meet each other again in the presidential contest and squaring off. And he has, they believe that Donald Trump has pushed his GOP allies in Congress to move swiftly on impeaching Biden, part of his broader calls for vengeance and retribution. Those retribution is his big word of the year.
But if you
And
ask them, Sybil, they can't tell you why they are moving to impeach. What is his crime?
right, they don't have anything, and so what they are trying to do is align him with his son Hunter, who also appeared on Capitol Hill today because he has been subpoenaed to appear before several committees, several House committees, and they are starting contempt proceedings against the president's son for not participating in the closed door depositions today after he demanded to testify publicly. He wants everything out in the open. He wants to prove that the Republicans are going after his dad and not necessarily him, but they're using him to get to his father. And he said, and then one of the chairman of the House Oversight Committee, James Comer, who is special, said Hunter Biden today defied lawful subpoenas, and we will now initiate contempt of Congress proceedings. And he that was in a joint statement with Jim Jordan, which is really interesting because Mr. Jim Jordan was subpoenaed by the January 6th committee and did not appear.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And
So
here's the other thing to me. So you're moving to impeach the president for something that his son did when he was not president.
when he was not president, he might have been vice president when he was
Right.
not president,
Right.
and when his son was not using his full faculties, who was in the middle of a drug addiction
Mhm.
and some other things that he may have been undergoing, and so you're asking a lot of this young man, and he is standing up and saying, I'm not going to allow the love my father has for me and the light of our love
Mhm.
between father and son be destroyed by you for political gain.
Well, when one of the talking heads stated that, don't you think that if the Republican lawyers had any kind of evidence of any kind of crime against Biden, that they would have used it during the last election?
For sure. Yeah.
Like, duh, duh. So basically they have nothing. This is a distraction. It is
Yeah.
such a distraction, and people want to get back to the issues. Let's run the darn country. This is
Right. How
foolishness.
about that? How
Yeah.
about you come to an agreement with the president about funding Ukraine, if
Yes.
that's what you're going to do,
People
funding
are hungry. People
Israel,
are homeless.
and
Our
funding the
education
border.
system, our
Right.
infrastructure. Come on
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Well, this is something that his son may have done 4 or 5 years ago, and we're going to get rid of the president for that. If you don't go kick rocks somewhere and give me somebody who cares about the country.
Literally.
Hunter Biden he came out there and with full armor and force said that, Republicans he's slamming the House Republicans for trying to dehumanize me and embarrass and damage my father. For
Mhm.
6 years, I've been the target of the unrelenting Trump attack machine, shouting, "Where's Hunter?" Well, Hunter, my answer is Hunter is here. That's what he told these people. And Adam Kinzinger, who is a former congressman from Illinois, was one of two Republicans on the January 6th committee to bring out evidence about the attack on the nation's capital on January 6th. Called Jim Jordan an absolute hypocrite, and after Jordan threatened to hold Hunter Biden in contempt, and of course, as I mentioned, Kinzinger pointed out that Jim Jordan, who has never met a jacket that he liked, um, a suit jacket, a coat that he's ever liked to wear, likes to, hold himself up and say, I'm the head of this Judiciary Committee, and we're going to do all of A, B, C, D, and he said, and what you did not do is appear and answer a subpoena.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
so all of these things and would not cooperate with them. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out, and who will be seen to be the real um, false leaders in all of this. and how people respond, because we are within a month of the Iowa caucuses. And so, even though the polls are saying one thing, it's going to be interesting to see how the people respond at the polls, at the caucus, and as well as at the election polls. So, this is a big night for sky gazers. The year's best meteor shower, the Geminids, will peak this week, and stargazers can expect to be treated to as many as one or two a minute striking across our nighttime skies. The annual Geminids will provide a cosmic spectacle tonight and will reach a peak frenzy Thursday morning. So starting, they say the best time to see it is if the weather is conducive, if you're cloud free, is to see it starting at 9 o'clock local time, wherever you are at 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. until 2 o'clock Thursday morning. And so some of us may be up at 2 a.m. And can go outside and watch it. But like for your kids and things, you can watch it and you'll see do, and especially
Wow.
those that are because of their distinctive chemical makeup. Geminids have a greenish hue as they speed across the sky and burn up, according to NASA's meteorite expert. And green usually comes from the oxygen, magnesium, and other chemicals that make up the Geminids, the meteors there. So,
I'm glad
um,
you told me that, because if I'm out in the streets tonight and I see something green going across, I'd be throwing the car in reverse. Not today. Not today, aliens. Nope.
It'll
get
make
me
me think.
away from me.
It'll make me think of that movie Meteor Man. I would love to see him.
Right, right, yeah. Experts say that meteors become active when Earth passes through a particularly massive trail of rocky space debris. And when the debris enters Earth's atmosphere, it burns up and lights up the sky with shooting stars. So that's what, and I said 9 o'clock local time tonight until 2 o'clock in the morning. So it could be when your kids are going to bed and when it's time for any of us to get up and go to work. So you may see them on your way to work, weather permitting. This fentanyl thing is crazy. I did a story yesterday that in North Carolina, two men were arrested for hauling enough fentanyl, like 120 pounds of fentanyl that they were cutting with cocaine, that had enough force that it could have killed every citizen of North Carolina 2 times over.
What?
They had enough fentanyl on their person that they were transporting that could kill every citizen of North Carolina 2 times over.
Wow.
And so now we have a case of young children who had to be taken to the hospital for medical attention in Amherst, Virginia. 7 elementary school students in Virginia became ill after eating gummy bears that were in sandwich bags that tested positive for fentanyl. Just the fentanyl dust, or the fact that fentanyl was in these plastic bags, was enough, and caught up in the gummies that the kids had, made the kids sick. 5 students were taken to the hospital, have since recovered. One of the fourth graders brought the gummy bears from home to share with their friends, and that's nice. And they said that it was the fentanyl dust, or whatever comes off of the fentanyl, that was in the plastic bags, and it
Wow.
was just enough to make the kids sick. Did not did not wound them mortally, but they said the incident was unintentional. They were tested, but it was, as I said, the sandwich bag itself that came back positive for fentanyl residue. And 2 people have been arrested in connection with the incident.
Wow. Wow.
Don't conserve. Don't, don't. This is not, like, oh, save that plastic bag or save that. No, no,
No.
throw
No.
that
But
crap away.
yeah, but back in the day, it even back in the day when the kids went, trick or treating, and
Hmm.
and you were afraid people were putting razor blades in the thing, and now you don't even know what's touched what.
Right. Right.
So
You
yeah.
Yeah.
just never know. Yeah. And when your friends offer you something, your kids, you're like, oh yeah, I'll take it. I'll take an apple, or I'll take, your sandwich that's, half your sandwich still in the plastic. No,
No.
no. Mm-mm. So have y'all been watching the Jonathan Majors trial or keeping up with it?
I heard
Jonathan, maybe.
I haven't actually, to be honest.
So Quinn, you have?
about the voice recording on the X app, and I listened to it a little bit. It was actually kind of hard to make out, so I can't believe like people really heard it clearly. But it was absolutely disgusting to hear him talk that way. One, to a woman, but two, about women within our history, within our movement of a people,
Right.
in such a degrading, like,
I
minimal
wonder
way.
what
I
this
don't
is
understand
going
why
to
Megan
do.
Good is with him. I don't know why she's with him, and I want her to get out. Like, I just want her to be free.
And Megan Good, I don't know what the state of your relationship is, and I'm not one to give advice, but he's making me very, very scared, and for your future. But here's
Well, what happened?
so he got into a fight with his girlfriend,
Right,
his white girlfriend,
right. That I
and so she charged him with physical abuse, domestic abuse,
mm-hmm,
and he turned around and charged her with abuse as well. So they've had that kind of fractious
right.
relationship. So now they're in court, and she has had such a relationship with him that she has started, as Quinn said, she has started to record their altercations.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when he's yelling at her, she will just, after whatever physical uh, contretemps they have, he will say things to her. And one of the things to this white woman is telling her that he needs her to be the Coretta Scott King or Michelle Obama in his life, because he is a gift to the culture. And so he needs a strong white woman acting like Coretta or Michelle to be his partner.
I don't know if y'all can hear my brain spinning around. Am I like,
He's yelling this at her. Like, he's yelling this at her. And
Yeah,
I'm to weaponize that type of stuff is just not, it's not complimentary. It's
to
very
be
confusing.
more like Coretta and Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
And she's from England. She don't know from Coretta and Michelle. She barely knows, probably barely. If he said, "Be my Queen Elizabeth," she's like, "Well, then I'm running this."
Right.
But no, no. My temper, my ish, all that said, I'm a great man. I'm a great man. I'm doing great things, not just for me, but for my culture and for the world. He was heard to say on this tape.
That's
but
a big deal.
didn't he also say she attacked? Yes, she attacked him or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That he said that
Did she
she
video
she
that?
charged him. Yeah, she charged him with physical abuse, and he charged her with physical abuse. And they both have witnesses to say that yes, they were involved in a physical fight.
Well, you know, not not that I like it, but as they say, there's no such thing as a fair fight to me.
No, no,
There's
you're
no
right
such
about
thing as a fair fight. And please don't let be no video of me out there
it. Okay.
when I was a bit heated, let's say, agitated.
So let's talk about some happier news in entertainment. Oprah's on. Oprah is everywhere. You can't turn on your
And her
television,
purple,
probably.
yes.
Yes, promoting her executive produced movie, The Color Purple Part 2. This is the musical, like what was on Broadway, and now they're bringing it to the big screen. And now Oprah is on display at the Natural Portrait Gallery in Washington, D.C. The star appeared at the Smithsonian Institute's National Portrait Gallery in Washington this week to celebrate the unveiling of her official portrait, currently on the museum's first floor. It is all of Oprah. It's 6 feet 10 inches tall, 5 feet by 8 inches wide. A portrait of Winfrey commissioned for the museum's permanent collection, and the portrait was done by a Chicago artist by the name of Sean Michael Warren. According to the Smithsonian Institution, it depicts her wearing a full length purple dress outside of her California home. And they said that as a global media leader, philanthropist, producer, actor, author, and entrepreneur, Winfrey has made significant contributions to American popular culture, which earned her a place in the National Portrait Gallery. Good on you, Oprah.
Nice, nice.
And
Very
everyone is excited to have her on their show. She was on our friend Sherry Shepherd's show today, and Sherry got choked up talking about when she was on the Oprah show as a young teenage girl, and now to have Oprah on her show and what that meant, and
nice.
everybody really seems to be quite emotional when they have her on, and she gets emotional as well as her stars of her movie get emotional talking about the effects of this movie. And so the movie opens Christmas Day, and I'll see y'all at the movies.
Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
excited to see it.
Yeah, I plan to go.
Yeah, we're talking about going on Christmas Day if we can
Mm.
to support her. We're going to close out with today's jewel and possessing a pure heart in relation to others is a treasured gift. Possessing a pure heart in relation to others is a treasured gift. You all are gifts to me. I appreciate your being here today and
And you
participating.
to us, to all of us and everyone listening, yes. And even
And,
Oprah,
and
yes.
even Oprah's on. Yes. And young Quinn, we would like for you to complete your assignment before the end of the year. Okay.
Yes, I will. 300 words, right? Got it.
Right. You know the limit there. Okay. All right, everyone. Take care. Be good to each other. Aloha.
Bye.